10 men ran headlong at Raygon. He met their charge with a raging inferno. With each swing of his fiery arcana sword, he sent swaths of blue and orange flames out. Men fell screaming, burning in their black armor, writhing about in pain. And whatever Raygon didn't set ablaze, he cut to bits with his arcana blade, armor and flesh alike. Their wails did not bother him. Raygon had been killing since he was old enough to know there was life to take. I've always maintained that Taikubo is maybe the most creative man to ever put pen to paper, and it's all because of the Zanpakuto. For those of you who don't know, Bleach is my favorite anime, and it has been for a long time. Now, do I think that Bleach is the best anime that I've seen? No. But it's my favorite. Part of that is because of when I watched it too. I was a kid at that point, and I thought Naruto and Bleach were like the coolest things on Toonami, and maybe even on the screen. But I also loved Bleach for how it aged, how it continued to get seemingly better and better over time. But the thing that really wowed me about the show was the weapons and the crazy variety of powers and transformations. Both forms of Zangetsu are still some of my favorite designs in all of fiction. I love the weirdness of Wabisuke, the sleekness of Suzumebachi, the screams of Benihime, and the overwhelming ferocity of Ryuinjaka. So when I started writing my own books, I had to steal from all that Bleach had done so well. And so, the arcana were born. There's almost too much information for me to dive into considering them, but I suppose we can start with the most basic thing. What the heck is an arcana? Well, nobody across my books really knows, and I'm not gonna spill the beans. What I can tell you is that arcana are magical items that cannot be created or forged. They can only be found mainly in the crumbling rock, the vast, destroyed ruins of an ancient and once great civilization. It was these ancient people, known to the world only as the Sanantori, that created the arcana, and that creation technique was hence lost to the world upon the civilization's cataclysmic destruction. I love that Kubo made all of the Zanpakuto blades in their sealed forms, but gave them the freedom to transition into all sorts of things in their released forms, so I was inspired to do something similar myself, but also go a bit further with it. Arcana are often weapons and swords, but not always. Some arcana are crowns, some are staffs, some are even books. But all arcana are infused with a tektite. Think of these crystals as the power source, and they also cannot be forged, only found. There's a uniqueness, a value, and a mystery that comes with this rarity. Bleach does the same thing with its Zanpakuto. Up until the last arc of the show, and the best filler ever, we really don't know much about Zanpakuto. You can't steal them or make them on your own. The soul is the heart of the Zanpakuto, and tektites are the heart of an arcana. But if you're wondering, if all an arcana consists of is an item and a tektite, why don't smiths just put them together? Well, many have tried, and all you get is a fancy item with a tektite in it. The power of an arcana comes from something that smiths just can't replicate, some deeper magic. And just like the multifaceted powers of the Zanpakuto, the powers of arcana are vast. Some arcana, like the legendary Noctamore, can create bursts of light and lock away memories. Others, like Prince Medius's mighty hammer, can paralyze anyone he looks at, no matter how near or far. Azar Dacronom's arcana crown Cerebor augments his mind and senses, though he keeps the specifics of such abilities closely guarded. Arcana are the most powerful weapons a noble can hope to attain, but there are quite a few restrictions, and they differ between people. For those in my world with talents, the magical powers and abilities, these people can only use an arcana that aligns with their talent. It's kind of like how Zanpakuto align with the personality of the wielder. For example, someone with a talent to manipulate fire would only be able to use fire-based arcana, or an arcana that manipulates heat, or cold, or energy. Those with telekinesis can make use of arcana that deal with movement or mental manipulation. However, for those born in the lower lands with no talent, they just can't use an arcana at all. For Northerners, things are a bit different. People from Vaemon aren't born with the talent, but all of them can use arcana. In fact, Northerners can use any arcana regardless of its type or power, but they can only ever use one. Once a Northerner bonds with an arcana, they can only ever use that one for the rest of their lives. For this reason, Northern nobles often are very particular about which arcana they choose to wield. But no matter who you are, all arcana come with a terrible cost: your life. Whenever a person uses the power of an arcana, their life force is used up as fuel, and their lifespan shortens. For each user, the cost is different. Some masters can use arcana for decades and never falter, while others use an arcana for a month and drop dead with no warning. This concept actually runs in line with the crest magic and relic weapons we see in Fire Emblem Three Houses, another favorite game of mine and one I'm replaying right now. The only people to avoid this life force cost of arcana are the Regiri. That's why they're considered the most dangerous fighters in the world. Well, that and many other reasons. Arcana are amongst the many pivotal magical elements that have impacted the history of my world, and to me, the most viscerally entertaining. I mean, come on, is there anything more cool than watching two people with fantasy weapons duke it out at a high level? Especially when those weapons help grow and change the characters. Kubo was able to create dozens of Zanpakuto to help shape his world, so I'm still trying to catch up, but I still have a ton of time to create more arcana, and I can do it with your guys' help. If you have any cool ideas for arcana, let me know in the comments. And please, if you want to support, head on over to my website and purchase a book for yourself. The sales are what help me fund this channel and my other channel, and what helps me fund all the art that I commission. If everyone on this channel bought even just one book, I could fund a whole audiobook or more art, or even maybe physical copies of my books for you guys. Regardless, thanks for watching all the way until the end. If you like what you heard, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it was a pleasure, and I will talk to you all again soon.